Thank you, Angel, and Heidi ho, everyone. Welcome aboard this Tuesday, the 6th of July in the year 2021. By goodness, yeah, we're in the second half of the year already, and nothing good to add to that right now, I've got to say. They're eating into my profits, and that's not ideal, but something up with which we must put as the market does what it does. And I want to have a quick look at the pound US dollar to see if that's tradable today. I doubt it, but let's see. H1. Oh, we're out of that, by the way. The trailing stops me hit on that. What do we got? Actually, it's not that bad. We've got 81 pips. DR3 wouldn't be going long, that's for sure. But to get, and that means we've got to get 83 pips to get 24. And it's just not there, is it? It's really not working. This setup for pound US dollar in the breakout for London session open. G'day to you, Paul P. How you doing? G'day, Lewis. What have we got to do? We've got to have a look at, well, I haven't had a look at, I've just been flat out all day and I haven't been in front of the charts except to sit down like 2 minutes ago. And here I saw the Aussie going north after I just took a very brief peep earlier in the day with that bar, which was the RBA statement, of course. And it looks as though whatever the the RBA said, the market has not thought that was too bad for the Aussie by the looks of things. I haven't read the statement. I won't bore you with going through it at the moment. Ash may well have, if he hasn't, when Shukri comes in, I'll have a quick read of it and see if I can find anything there that is meaningful. I'd like this to stop, obviously, this rally, and we turn around because our trailing stop, which of course is in profit, that's not the end of the world, but you'd want to bank some more than what's currently available to us. So that's Aussie US dollar. What else is happening around the place? We didn't place, and did we place an order this morning? That's a good question. Euro, pound, Euro, Swiss, pound, Swiss. This was yesterday, I think, wasn't it? No, I placed an order this morning on pound Swiss. Sorry, guys, I'm just completely not with it at the moment because I've just sat down. So if you're not aware of this one, pound Swissy, it is a weekly order and trading this inside bar here, which of course is one of the faves. Key reversal bar followed by an inside bar, and you've got to back that up with something. And really, the chart pattern here is telling me the most significant pattern on the chart. Part maybe from this double bottom sitting here, which really, to my mind, is yet to have a significant higher low. Maybe we're on our way to that. Apart from that, we're in a downtrend, and we've gone back into a downtrend by the looks of things. On the weekly chart, we are ranging ferociously, if there's such a word or such a thing. Your trading stop's gone on Aussie. Yeah, look, mine's still there, but you may be far better off than I with your trailing stop. Like I said, Lewis, it's a profitable trade, but you'd like to get more out of it. The vagaries of the market and the Kiwi Swissy, oh my God. Now they're talking interest rate rises and they took us out of Kiwi Swissy. So yeah, not having a wonderful Tuesday at this point from a trading perspective. We'll see if we can turn that around. So just trading that bar on pound Swissy if you want to join that one. I think the other one was Euro Swissy. I don't know if that was today. Obviously it was. And we're trading that on the daily bar, looking for our first take profit just before we get into this weekly pivot of about 3 weeks ago. I think this is multiple setups, and that's why I've chosen to trade it. If you go to the weekly chart, again, we've got a key reversal bar there that really shot through the range and continued the sequence of lower lows, lower highs. Now we're having that retest bar, which is beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see when you get a big key reversal such as that. And on the daily chart, it has indeed retested the broken monthly pivot. I think we spoke about this last week and did note that the monthly pivot is a key level for, pardon me, Euro Swissy going down. Once there, twice there, off the monthly pivot, couldn't close above it. Once there, twice there, off the monthly pivot, couldn't close above it. Once there, twice there, off the monthly pivot, couldn't close above it. And here we are again. No close above it just yet. I would suggest that if we do close above it, there may well be a change of sequence. In fact, if you look at that that chart, you can be forgiven for thinking that we do have an inverted head and shoulders sitting there as well. It's not that obvious on the weekly, but it's kind of there. It's convoluted, most definitely. But then you've got to put this together with a bounce off the top of the range that's actually gone straight through the range, retested the bottom of the range. It's also the break of a resistance trade line. It's a false break setup, and for all of those reasons, I have to place my my entry there and my stop loss pretty well above the monthly pivot. Yeah, it is boring. Look, you know, it's a thing, Lewis, and I think it's been happening for quite a while. And as yet, I haven't taken advantage of it. And by that, what I mean is we're getting pretty decent entries and pretty consistent entries. And Ash has jumped onto it, and you'll notice that he's getting out very, very quickly. Yes, we're taking profit quickly, but we're not getting as much in the bank as we need to get in the bank to make the strategy profitable, to be frank, over time. So I need to take a good look at that. And I said a few weeks ago that we need to get more off at TP1, if not everything off. We may have to change the way that we look at managing these trades, because they are not giving us the follow through that we require to get, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, all those sorts of results that we're looking for. So when that's happening and happening consistently, we probably need to take a good look at that. So there we go. Pound Swissy and Euro Swissy are the two that I chose to trade. And look, there was a multiple of key reversal and inside bars at the turn of the week. They're all marked there. The two I chose were Swissy yen and pound Swissy. So let's have a look at Swissy yen and see what's going on there. I think I have got a Swissy yen chart. Yes, I do. I think we had a talk about this yesterday, actually, Ash and myself, when we were trying to come up with the weekly trade of the week. And if you go back to Euro Swiss, not Euro Swiss, yes, Euro Swiss. And I did point out on that monthly chart that we've come over the top and we're now underneath this trade line again, which goes through here. If you look at Swissy yen, that is not the case. We're still rising here and we are above that trend line. So and we're certainly above this key level, which is absolutely evident on that chart. You could drop it a bit lower if you don't want to use the highs, but and in fact, it's still the same potency as far as I'm concerned. You can see all of these levels here where it's failed to close above that and then finally broke out. So we've been in this breakout scenario for what, 1, 2, 3, this is the 4th month, and now we've got a retest of that level. I think this is really interesting, Swissy yen for a long. And I know we spoke about it yesterday, but I really can still see that setup. Key reversal bar, inside bar. I still think this is worth a shot of buying here, putting our stop loss there. I'm actually going to place that order. I didn't do that yesterday, but I'll do it now. I'll give you the levels. It'll be a buy stop. G'day, Ash. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. There is a short on the FTSE as well, but whenever.
Well, you go first because this is a weekly chart. So
okay, all right. We are looking for a short. I'm just going to take it at market here, and then I will explain it. There we go. Right. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, short on the FTSE. And I might have to make sure I've got the right screen up, which is that one. Okay, you got my screen?
Yeah, mate.
Great stuff. Okay, so looking for a short on the FTSE 100. There's a few levels here which could be difficult. Now let's see if they provide me with pivots today on Fusion. Doesn't look like they're going to, which is a shame, but not an essential. Okay, so targets will be down at this low, so probably looking at around about 30, but got to be a little bit careful because there is a trend line coming along here, which it's held once there, so it may not get through, and that's the key kind of point. If we get through that level, then we are probably going to go to our first point of contact. Now, first contact is it's going to be this low down here because it got stuck there yesterday. Actually, it's a little bit lower than that. Oh, sorry, this is first contact just here, and that would be absolutely fine. So I'll probably come out there just to kind of stick with the strategy, but I do think that I do think that there's a decent chance that we go lower than that particular point. But I will come out at that point just to, as I say, illustrate that the strategy is really just trying to look at the first time that it's likely to turn. I'm just going to make sure this level's correct because it was different before. Here we go. Oh, I'll tell you which one. I would think I was using that one. It's slightly different actually on this than it is on the futures market, but there is a level of support here. Stops at the highs. You know, if that's how you're choosing to trade it, the signal really is from the what we've seen with the hourly. It's pushed up. It pushed up to the high yesterday and unable to get through up here. Unable to get through this particular high here. So bit of a kind of a point of contention. Obviously, there's a bit of a battle going on here, and the first lower high, if you like, on the hourly is the signal. And then we have a look at the look down the charts at the timing. 15 hasn't finished yet, but it's the 5 that I've taken my signal from. Tried to push higher, and it just kind of started to dive down again. So there's the signal candle there. And you should be relatively safe with stops at the highs there, which is going to give 17 up, looking for around about 80. So looking for a 1-to-1 again, basically. But as I say, I think it's got a pretty good chance of coming down a bit lower. The OPEC meetings are just the only thing really, that is showing any kind of positivity is what's going on with oil, because the OPEC meetings are locked. They've got this kind of this argument kind of going on between the UAE and it seems like everybody else, where the UAE don't want to continue to oversupply the market, or what they believe is the oversupply of the market. Now that so far has managed to get oil fairly buoyant. You know, I saw oil move to the upside again this morning. And it's meant that stocks like Royal Dutch Shell and BP specifically are both up north of 1%, whereas everything else is kind of drifting around a little bit. Those two particular stocks are dragging the FTSE 100 up, and Anglo American and some of those guys. So the energy stocks are it's possible that those energy stocks actually leave the FTSE in positive territory, but I think there's a good chance that the other stocks manage to bring other things down. Jeff talked about the 77 level on the oil charts, and let's have a quick look at where that is. XTI currently about 76.26, so we haven't quite got there yet, but we're pretty close. So I would have thought that because there is a lack of agreement so far, this level would probably hold for right now, and we are right on top of it. So where Royal Dutch Shell and BP are pushing the FTSE 100 higher. This particular turning point, when that starts to happen, then what we'll probably see is some of those stocks start to reverse a little bit as well. So, you know, I want to see those stocks roll over, and if they roll over, then it's going to bring the rest of the FTSE with it. So that's the reason that I'm going for the short here. But as I say, it's going to be a little bit tricky. What I wouldn't anticipate is it's going through the level, because this is so close to that $77 a barrel mark. Now we're 70 cents away from that. So there's still, I suppose, you know, when you think about it in that way, there's still a 1% rise that could happen with the oil market. Now the FTSE is not likely to go up 1%, but if it were to go up 1%, then we're likely to see prices at around about 71 pips higher. So we're looking at possibly 7,200 if the FTSE is going to follow exactly the move in oil, which, as I say, is pretty unlikely. But let's see where that leads us. And 72 actually is going to be way above our price point. But I'm comfortable with this, mate. I'm just going to hold on to it with no leverage. You should be relatively safe, but just the way that this is going right now, it might be a bit of a tricky one. And you're actually 0.5% down here, so might be worth, if you're in this trade, cutting it, because what you really want to see as an issue is follow through straight away, and this isn't happening. So it might be worth anybody that is using leverage, cut this one off and come and fight another day, in my opinion. But I'm going to hold on to it, mate, because I quite like it. And if it doesn't come down here, then what the reason I'm going to hold on to it is that because it's the oil stocks really in the FTSE that are dragging the FTSE higher, and because I see that $77 a barrel at the pretty much at the price that we're at, I don't think it's going to be too long before this thing turns over. So I will just hold on and see what happens to the trade and just try and get that first contact, and maybe even lower. If it pushes much higher, then I'm going to have to adjust how I trade it. But I think that that the oil market will probably at least be caged until that the resolution of that meeting, and that means that I want to just stick in with the FTSE. And as I say, you can only really do that if you don't use leverage, because otherwise, you're basically betting your house on it. So everybody else that is using a traditional kind of form of stop losses and whatever else, it's probably worth cutting your trade. It's now it's not, because it's so close. But if it comes down to half of the loss, then it's probably worth cutting your trade. So that's that, mate. See gold pop to the upside as well. So we're in that one, are we?
We're in that trade, yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked at. I've been just so busy today. It's been crazy. Oh yeah, it's popped up over 1,800. That means a little bit of gold in the bank. Well, it's not in the bank. I'd have to hit the monthly. We didn't discuss TP1s, did we?
No, we didn't actually. No, but I suspect it's probably going to be where you drew your trend line.
I don't know how gold works, mate. 450 pips. What's that? $45, I imagine.
Yes.
Right. And we're up $8. $9.
So we're a fifth of the way there. Let's have a quick look at it. We'll come back to the FTSE at a later opportunity. So this is what's been going on with gold. So we managed to get in just above the last week's high, didn't we?
Yes, that's what we trade the bar. Yeah.
We trade the bar, and really that's the level that you were looking at just there. Now, you'd think it would respect that level. Pretty nice horizontal level across here as well. So that would suggest 1823. So it would suggest another 20 pips to the upside.
Which is pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much the confluence of monthly pivot and that trend line as well.
Now, I don't know why I'm not getting my pivots, but I'll try and fix that up. So yeah, yeah, the trend line is really the target. I would have thought. Now let's just have a look at let's put a fib on this as well and see what that would suggest. There's a fib there, but there is also a fib up at 34 and 12. The fibs aren't any good. Fibs won't help us out at all. So if it's going to go to the fib, it's going to go it's either going to undershoot or overshoot the price point, unless this trend line is just a little bit higher. Let's just see. Let's see if we can get a proper price on this. It puts it at 14 and 32, and it puts the trend line on 25. It's going to be between those, but I suppose, you know, it could go beyond the fib and then create a signal just below. Horizontal level looks like it's somewhere along here. That's quite interesting. The horizontal level does actually meet the $13, 18.15, let's call it, just to round it off a little bit. And there is this low here as well, which is why it's probably getting stuck there. So we get any clarity? Yeah, that looks pretty good actually, mate. 18.13, maybe 18.15 to kind of round it off a little bit. Looks like a potential for, you know, that's where I would have thought is a genuine first contact. You got 38% retracement on the fib. There is this horizontal level, which on the daily looks pretty good.
Monthly pivot's being on there too.
Monthly pivot, okay. So I'd say that's probably our first target.
Okay, happy days. What 18.13? We'll use 18.13.
18.13, 18.15, somewhere in that region.
Cool.
That would look pretty good to me, mate. Notice that you were looking at what happened to the Swissy.
Which Swissy? I'm all over the Swissy today.
Okay, you're buying?
Buying the Swissy, yes.
Yeah, I like the Swissy, mate. I mean, I did some analysis on the Swissy last night, and the most recent prints anyway. PMI is just leveling off a little bit. Still at kind of all-time, you know, one of the top kind of prints that we've ever had. Not the top print, but one of the top prints we've ever had in PMIs. CPI is also edging higher, but from last month actually edging down a little bit, and retail sales weakening. So it would suggest that the Swissy probably would pop a little bit higher. COT data from last week, the overall index was not that positive. But if you looked at actually what went on with the buying and selling in the Swissy just for the week, the COT data longs popped to the upside. So it would suggest that, you know, on the shorter term, the Swissy does have a potential run. The analysis that I ended up having was it could be a tricky one. But if I was going for a position in the Swissy, it would have to be on the long side. But it could be a bit of a battle.
Well, I've averaged my 1% over 3 trades. I'll show you those if you like.
Yeah, let's have a look. Well, over 3 different pairs.
Well, we now just put Swissy yen into the equation, right? That's on the weekly chart. Let me take the screen.
Look at the FTSE while you're doing that.
But there's a really interesting chart that I want to show you in a minute as well, and completely contradicts. Might be an OCO actually. We'll have a look at that. So Swissy yen, we've just spoken about that, and they are the levels now that I'm trading at. Buying at 120.93, a stop loss of 119.59, and TP1's at 121.43. You might get a little bit more out of that if you want to be a little bit more bold, but you could probably even go up to the highs here, and not the highs here, the open and close here, if you wanted to pinch a little bit more out of it. But I'm, as I said, exposed to the Swissy fairly substantially. And pound Swissy, as we spoke before, is one of those. Pound Swissy short, of course. They are the levels for that. Oh, you better not go 0.2695. You'll be waiting a while for that one. Let me change that to 1. There we go. Pound Swissy again on the weekly chart. That was pretty obvious to me. And the other one was Euro Swissy. And again, that is not on the weekly chart, it's on the daily chart, trading this bar here. So all of those pretty clear to me, and have to have a shot at them. Now, Euro Pound, I did toss this one up into the mix as well, but I didn't trade it. And the reason I tossed it in the mix is because it was a key reversal bar on the weekly. It was at the top of the range, and really eminently tradable, to be honest. But it's very, 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 very similar to a couple of others, and I chose those instead. This would have triggered had you traded it. Had you waited, you may be too late, but you may get a second shot at it. And I'll probably be interested in it if we can get back up into this area, put in a lower high. In particular, if we got up to the weekly pivot and put in a lower high, I'd be interested in trading that, most definitely. But the most interesting chart I thought today was this one, and it's dollar CAD. It's giving me two very, very clear signals. The one that's probably most evident to you guys would be the chart pattern that you can see on your chart, which is a pretty classic cup and handle.
Have you changed your colours, mate?
Just for this, because I want to know where I am.
Okay. Oh, you can't see that on the blue screen.
Blue screen. Can't. Oh, no, I just wanted to change, just to make. I don't know. I just felt like a change yesterday.
Okay.
So when I go through this market scanner, I want to see something that's, I don't know, makes me look, I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than the mundane old grey shitty charts that I use normally.
Right. I like those mundane grey city charts.
Do you, mate? That's good.
Well, they just it makes me think of you.
I guess so. Yep, old and grey. That's right.
No, I know. Just that was always, you're the only one who uses that colour.
Mate, I'm a trendsetter. You know that.
Yeah, I do.
They'll catch on. So this chart here, as I said before, is very, very, very interesting. That's gone, so it doesn't mean too much. But this, to me, means quite a lot. I'm not a cup and handle trader, but I certainly recognise the pattern, and that's probably classic. If you're looking at a cup and handle, as I understand the cup and handle, it does have a lip, and on a trend line or a trade line comes down and gives you the top of the handle. I don't really know if that's the technical version of it, but it's close enough for me. It certainly looks like cup and handle.
Well, it can be very much like an inverted head and shoulders, but without the left shoulder. So it could be flat or it could be angled, like you've got it there.
So,
but of course, the left-hand side would have to be that price action that you see around about the March time.
The what? Sorry.
The left, around the highs in that little area there, that little cluster just to the right of that low there. That's kind of the neckline of the that'd be the start of the neckline.
Through here.
Yes.
Well, it's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
Because it's a classic slingshot candle pattern. Third tested. In fact, that trade line is probably better than the trend line. Let's get rid of the trend line. You can see a classic 3-candle slingshot pattern sitting there, and that's a buy right there. The problem I've got with that is that I've also got a key reversal bar followed by an inside bar. So it's giving me reason to think that this is going short, but it's also giving me reason to think if it doesn't go short, then it's going along with that cup and handle. If that cup and handle means anything, they're supposed to go a fair way, aren't they? If they actually play out, similar to head and shoulders or inverted head and shoulders. So I'm kind of gritting my teeth, going, do I actually place an order here, or do I place both orders? This again, it's got another little trade line coming through here, which gives me another break and retest.
Well, again, mate, but just for your benefit, I suppose, if you were to draw a horizontal level from that little peak, looks like around about the 12th of May, a horizontal level through there, and this is for everybody else as well. Yeah, the high. Yeah, use the high is probably better, and then take a measurement on a trend line if you like. So draw it. Maybe better to go with a high. It's a bit more conservative. Yeah, I would go with a high, and then just use a trend line just to kind of draw from that red line to the top of the trade line, or to the trade line
Here to
from the
here.
middle. Not that one, no. So
You want to measure them? You want the measured move? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly. Yeah. That's yeah. If you go from the red line, the top of the red line, and then go up to the trade line, if you like, at the top. Yeah.
That there.
Yeah, that's what, if it broke out, that's what you'd be looking at potentially as a price point, and have a look to see whether there's any interesting kind of levels that meet the top of that. Yeah, it is actually quite interesting. So that's what the cup and handle would suggest, that is a potential target there.
Okay. It's interesting. It's compelling. It's got a US dollar in it. That's one of the biggest issues I've got with it. And it's got the CAD in it, which is the oil. And this is, again, you were just speaking about oil and the potential for it to bounce off 77 or thereabouts. And I kind of got to go along with that, which means that this does play into a long.
Yes. Yes. Dollar's a dog, though, isn't it? It's one of those that if you
it's actually two dogs.
It's two dogs. Yen not of any interest?
No, it's not the CAD. The dollar's two dogs by itself.
Right. Yeah. The yen dollar CAD yen not of any interest?
CAD yen?
Yes.
Have I got that?
I'm really list? I'm really leaning towards the yen right now as the currency to trade negatively, if you like, against, so that the yen be the positive pair in the
the only CAD pair I've got is dollar CAD, but let's have a look. CAD yen, it's not even on my radar anyway. Okay. Yes it is. Sorry, yes it is. There's a key reversal and an inside bar, so there you go. But I think we spoke about this yesterday.
Almost like an inverted cup and handle that you can see there.
Yeah. But again, we spoke about this yesterday, and I see it as a key reversal bar to the high side, followed by an inside bar.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we're trading on Swissy yen, wherever that's gone. Pissed off. No, there it is. Same thing. Exactly the same.
Yes.
And look, it's not a surprise, because I think over the last 2 to 3 weeks, even leading into the Fed statement, during the Fed statement, coming out of the Fed statement, everything's been the same trade. In currencies, I don't think anything is any different. If you're going to trade against the yen, you might as well trade anything against it. If you're trading against the dollar, you might as well trade anything against it, because they're all doing the same thing. Yeah.
Agreed. So the CAD, with the CAD, I wonder whether the idea is that we might need a little bit of waiting before we get the absolute clarity on that.
John, the trouble is picking a strong currency, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is the strongest currency? Do we go and have a look at?
Well, yeah, have a quick look at Finviz, but I say fundamentally, cotton seasonality would suggest that we go towards the yen. So yeah, Shukri's in the house. John, just a quick one, John. Are you in that gold trade at 1770? Awesome, mate. Awesome. Okay. So we got some gold traders, and it sounds like Lewis is into it as well.
Oh, God,
that's all right, mate. That's okay.
Don't blame me if it reverses.
No, you hate it.
Well, it just stood out, didn't it, really, as a technical setup. So that's the only reason I'm in it.
Yeah.
But if it goes to 20,000, who cares? That's not likely to happen, mind you. So according to FinViz, over the month, oh, go away. Everyone wants to spend money. Now I can't get rid of it.
John Lewis, you're not in long. Okay.
Okay, so over the month, there you go. You've got the yen as the strongest currency.
Brilliant. Yeah.
On the week, it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Kiwi Aussie. Now the Aussie, I haven't read the RBA statement, but the market seems to have appreciated whatever the RBA said today. I've noted. So maybe the Aussie you have to throw into that mix as well. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's interesting trading the Aussie, the Kiwi against the CAD because of that. And if it is an oil story, then Kiwi Aussie long CAD makes sense if oil's coming off. But is oil coming off? We don't know that yet. We're just surmising, aren't we? It is coming to a resistance level, or it is at a resistance level. So yeah. So you like the yen, CAD yen?
Yeah, yeah. I like the yen. It looks like from what you're saying, it sounds like the Aussie and Kiwi might be getting a bit of a rush of blood because of what the RBA said. So might need to read that first. And if that sounds like it's going to have some follow through, absolutely fine. If not, maybe the yen is positioned quite well because we're not talking about it yet today. So, it does need a bit of a catalyst and it's not there yet. But we don't expect to get a setup just before the catalyst necessarily. Otherwise, it would probably be gone by the time we get it. I
still can't see CAD yen short. I still can't.
Fine,
so maybe there's a short to get long to get short if it hits the high again. It can come off it. Maybe because I'm once again seeing a slingshot set up here for a buy.
I'm just going to quickly deal with John's thing, mate, because he sounds like he's in a bit of a tiz there. Got my tight and got stop loss, I presume, is tight, and you're in profit, so it's all good on this one. Should I keep it loose and let it run? There's a bit of a hold at 18.05. There probably will be on the 15-minute chart. So difficult to say what you should do, John, but what you got to ask yourself is what suggests that this is turning around and coming all the way back down again. So have a look around and if there's nothing suggesting it, keep it loose. If you've got something coming up, if there's something on the horizon, and I'm not talking about price action, forget the price action. Look purely at what the drivers are. What driver could turn this around? I mean, I don't see anything personally. But that's something for you to kind of go and try and discover. What could turn this around? And if there's nothing, then leave things loose because the price action will it will move itself around here, there, and everywhere while it reaches these price points. But because there are orders sat there, the robots have put their orders in there. But the sentiment isn't likely to change in the long term. So we're okay to aim for 18.13, in my opinion, not financial advice, but that's just the way I see it.
Now I can see a little bit of a reason for CAD yen to go short term.
Okay.
But okay, I'm staying out.
Okay.
Everything's confusing.
Well, should we bring Shukri in, or are we kind of ready for that?
Who's he? G'day, buddy.
The Aussie.
Aussie.
The Aussie has brought up gold and Bitcoin.
Yeah, bugger. Don't want that.
What are you doing?
I don't want a strong Aussie right now.
Yeah, it's a very strong Aussie, and during that, just before the RBA, Bitcoin just shot up. What's happening here?
Interesting, mate. I mean, there's a few interesting developments really right now, aren't there, for these crypto markets? And as I think we've been talking about, the next 2 months, maybe 3, are absolutely critical for the crypto market. I mean, there's just stuff going on. I think this is where we see the maturity of the crypto market. Probably this could be the foundation for the next 5 years with some of the stuff we got coming up, right?
It's already moving, but we don't see it. But it's some of the sectors are moving and moving quick. So see that Aussie there, 12, before the statement by the RBA governor. Yeah, see that? Just see that.
Yep.
Yeah. What did he say? I don't know what he said. I
don't know. I haven't read the statement.
was to ask you, Jeff, what did he say? Because he can say it again and again and again. This is good.
I'll have a look I'll have a look while you do your analysis, Shukri, and I'll see if I can find something.
This is good. It's not doing anything. It's in this range, which is good, which is what we expect. This is also good. See, again, Bitcoin tries to scare us again. This is good because we have this series of higher lows. This is good. We haven't gone up here. We haven't gone beyond here yet, but we're going to be stopped here anyway. But within this range is very, very good. And we are coming up to another D-Day. We came up to a D-Day that day, more May 14th, right? But that happened on May 19th. We have another D-Day, July 17th, July 19th. I don't know the exact day of D-Day, but we know on July 21st, Elon Musk is meeting with Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey is strong in Bitcoin, so Elon Musk can make amends to us on that day. It's called the B show, the B word. The B word.
B word. Okay. Why is it the B word? The Bitcoin word.
The Bitcoin word. So this is from Alex Mashinsky. Now, DeFi, if you look at all the coins, the DeFi coins are starting to move. But what does this guy say? This guy is the CEO of Celsius. He basically lends. You can deposit with Celsius and lend it out, right? 850,000 users earn 8.88% on USDT. He's like me, superstitious Chinese dude. Okay, so Celsius Networks. He was one of the inventors of IPv6, this guy. So,
IPv6, what's up? Well, sorry, mate, you'll have to school me on that. What's IPv6?
That's the internet kind of thing. I don't know, but internet IPv6. I don't know IPv8 or IPv25, but
I mean, I know this chap because I've used Celsius for staking for Pax Gold, and it's very, very good. I haven't been able to make the maths work. I think what his concept is very, very interesting, but the maths just don't work. Because when you use your cryptocurrencies as collateral to take out your loan, yes, the loan is at a reduced rate, but your cryptocurrencies are then tied up, so you're not earning the yield. So actually,
okay. What you said just now is right. That means you don't have liquidity anymore, right? Okay, like you said, what is coming is this. This is why we like to say this. Now, what is coming is this. When you tie up your crypto here,
yep,
you will be able to have a version, I mean, this could be ETH or whatever it is. You will then be able to bring out LETH in the future. This looks like to be the future.
Okay.
Not tied up anymore, which is cool because no bank in the world can give you that. I don't know when he will give you guys that. But again, Celsius is doing well because you have to sell. Celsius is like 698. All-time high is like 8, right? 8, yeah, 8.
Yeah, do you know, I've got some Celsius tokens completely by default because when you join the website, you can get paid in your native coin or your Celsius token, and I didn't know that, and it went straight to Celsius token. So I've got some of these completely by accident. I didn't want them, but now I see the price going like that. I'm quite happy to have them.
This is cool, right? This is cool. I bought this at 25 cents. I went up at 27 times. This is the Hall of Shame. I should be using it, but because of my, I was kind of freaked out by going out at only 27 times, so I never used it. But this is good, So what does this guy say? He knows a lot because he knows about the borrowing of Bitcoin and all that. So he knows what the big boys are doing because he gets his yield by lending to the big boys. That's what he does.
Right.
If you look at the videos of Celsius, right? People ask, how do you make money? Well, we give credit to the big boys. So this is the D-Day, guys. So it's not going anywhere now because people are afraid of the D-Day. And I will show you other markets where it started moving. Now, this is coming soon. Now, let me show you a market that's moving, NFTs. It crashed. It's up again.
Is that just today, mate, or is that over a period of? Looks like is that a monthly chart?
Yes, it's up. Here, look, it crashed last year, then it crashed.
Ah, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Again in June, and we haven't seen the tokens move yet, but it's already up higher than the previous craze.
Wow.
A lot of people are now saying that this NFT craze is now like what the IDOs was here, but nobody knows. This is why I said. So am I concerned about? I always said that crypto would be in a bear market next year, right? By June. I don't know where the NFT could be. The NFT could be bullish, you know, because we don't know this market yet. We have no idea of the cycle here.
Yeah. I suppose it depends on what kind of products get adopted. I know we've started to open it up, and you showed us the holidays last week, but we need more adoption, don't we? By what it will be is when a huge company takes it on, you know, something like Amazon or Tesco over here, you know, a supermarket sells an NFT for a shopping basket and stuff like that.
And it's coming, and the guy is this guy. You won't know him because my drawing is very bad.
Oh, I know Charlie Brown. Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
This is the Wall Street Bets guy.
Yeah.
Because GameStop might issue an NFT.
Wow.
Wow.
Is GameStop the story of the Phoenix from the Flames? Weren't they done? Weren't they on their knees? And now all of a sudden they've got the crypto crowd on with them, and they've just kind of they've taken on a completely different, almost a different life.
Yes, and this, I mean, it's just a rumor, but it could happen. But they have already hired the NFT people. That's done. We don't know what. But one possible use case is tie this NFT to a shareholder like Ash, tie this NFT to a shareholder like Jeff, so everything becomes transparent. So now it's harder to short things.
Wow.
Yeah. And the US already has a rule. So this is one of the things that, like I showed you, there was another token that's Deeper Network that's going to list on the NASDAQ, and they are selling NFTs for that as proof of ownership of the stock.
No, did you know what? That's where I start to get really interested.
Yeah.
You know, when we go into, because they're just talking about synthetics, aren't they, with stock? So we don't really have. And the problem with the synthetics is that it suggests that you can't earn a yield.
Yes, but they don't worry. They will give dividends. They will give crypto dividends. That's the plan.
Okay.
Give crypto dividends. I don't know how it's tied to the NFT, but they will do that. Yeah, but it will be a crypto dividend. So let's see. So July is very big. So although this is moving, you do not see Bitcoin moving because people are still worried. So, and Big Alex is probably right because people are borrowing crypto. So he knows this. Okay, this is a fact, and everyone's. But let's see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens too. But what did he say? He says that, okay, it's a 90K level to close the 2021 year end, going probably around 100, 140 to 160. But what he said is this is true. 5 billion would have to be unwind of GBTC. This is the grayscale.
Okay.
The grayscale is going to be released in the middle of this month. 16,000, that's a lot. That's 20 billion worth of GBTC. But he knows that, and this was used for ARP institutional trade. He knows it, right? He is the one probably lending it there. See, leverage loans. So they will have to pay off that loan. Now, the thing is, why not the entire 20 billion? Well, if you look at GBTC, when they bought this Bitcoin, it was around 20 to 24, but GBTC premium at that time was 40%. It's the price where Bitcoin is now. So why would you want to sell your GBTC when you're going to lose money? That it doesn't make sense. But the guys who borrowed, and he knows what he's talking about, will have to sell.
Yes, they will. So if you basically, the leverage guys are going to have to sell.
Yes, this is what Gordon said last time, right? That you know, if it's like a tax. If you have to pay, you have to pay.
Yes.
If you have to sell, you have to sell. So let's see how much that 5 billion can bring BTC down. He thinks it will bring it down to 29K. Makes sense because the 3 billion brought it down to 28K. So this is slightly higher than that. So let's see what happens. And he says after that, there's really nothing else. And if you check and on the release, there's really nothing else until the end of the year. And it's clear. Okay, so that's why when you see now in DeFi, the DeFi coins are actually moving below the market, you know, but no one wants to commit. This is Australian synthetics, like you said, the synthetics thing. This is DeFi. This is KuCoin is an exchange. That's also good. This is DeFi. Len, Aave. Compound is DeFi. Hello. Aave is DeFi. Rune, Torchain, yes, another DeFi thing. AVAX, or AVAX is a blockchain. Eagle is DeFi. This is even more interesting. I don't know much about it, but they are going to allow, guess what? You guys were talking about gold, right? They will allow gold, silver, and platinum trading.
No, that's cool.
That's cool. And this is backed. This is not like this is not even a synthetic. This is backed by real things. So that's cool, right? This is not even a CFD. This is real. Okay, so this is okay. This is an exchange. This is DeFi. This is DeFi. This is DeFi. Everything DeFi is moving.
Yeah.
But people do not want to make it crazy because people do not know if this GBTC dump on July 17th to 19th can cause lots of problem for others that will make them dump these guys, you know, because hey, they got caught on the BTC thing.
Why is he saying that they're going to dump at that particular time?
Because he knows they borrowed. He's the lender.
But why then though? Why would they dump then?
That is when it's due. That is when the loan is due.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yes. But it's not going to be that great as I thought, because I thought, you know, if you are below your buying price, why would you want to sell? So it's only 5 out of 20 billion looks good. But what he does make sense. If 3 billion could send Bitcoin to 28, then yeah, 5 billion could, I don't know what it is next week. Even if it goes to 40, it makes sense that 5 billion dump could cause Bitcoin to go to 29. So if you want to buy, you might want to try out and put a buy order, ting, 29. Or like I do 29.333 just for fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, mate. So what we're really looking for is to know what are the waters going to be like after the 18th or 19th.
Yes.
We are anticipating a sell-off. Now we're anticipating it in Bitcoin. Does that push the alts up, or does that bring everything down with it?
Now what you see is something I like. The alts are moving up. Look at that.
Yeah.
Better. So I think the alts will still go down, but it won't go down as much as Bitcoin because people know this already. But still, we don't know what's going to happen if people suffer too much losses. With Bitcoin, they're going to sell the alts away. That's just work. That's how it works. But at least, at least everything is clearer now than the rest. Uniswap and all this. So yeah, I do think there is going to be a DeFi summer, most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly appears that way. And as I say, I mean, we've got so much coming out now and so many things happening. The SEC could help out a little bit. I mean, the regulation could help out a little bit just by getting some clarity. I mean, geez, the most frustrating thing throughout all this is that we are, as I say, potentially living through one of the most exciting changes that we have seen in decades. And it could be destroyed by uncertainty that the regulators just can't get a handle on it because they just don't know what it is yet.
Yes.
CardStarter, CardStarter and OccamFi, two really interesting projects as well. So, what have we got coming out with CardStarter?
It's moving because look, what is August? August is very important for all you Cardano fans. Isn't August the launch of the smart contracts?
Yeah, end of August, start of September. Yeah.
Gogan. So it's starting. So CardStarter fell down to 9, and guess what? And then they announced they were going to list Sunday Swap. Sunday Swap is probably going to be the Uniswap of Cardano. And look what happened. Starts go up. So you see this before. Now I don't see the wild thing, but I see what I'm comfortable seeing.
Haven't Card Starter and Sunday Swap actually like haven't they just joined together? Aren't they just like aren't they actually sort of collaborating now?
This will list on the Card Starter platform.
That's as far as their relationship goes, is it?
Yes. So
Okay.
so I don't know how the mechanics is, but initially to get into Sunday Swap, you could not do it through Ethereum. You had to do it through the actual Cardano.
Right.
I hope this IDO, which looks like to be a big one, is going to be on Cardano, because that will really put Cardano at the level of Polkadot, right? Because now for Polkadot IDOs, you just put Polkadot. You don't put Ethereum anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
And hopefully Cardano will be able to make that switch, and they will have something or close to making that switch, because that's when Charles is supposed to deliver his smart contract.
You have your doubts, don't you, Shukri? I can tell it by the tone of your voice.
I'm hesitating. I'm hesitating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they are notoriously bad at putting dates back, because they don't quite, something happens, because their approach is very different. But from what I'm hearing so far, nothing is too dangerous. I think what's really exciting, I think, for the Cardano community is the pace is picking up. Projects seem to be getting announced quite regularly now. There's a new project being announced every other week, and of course, one of my issues with Occamfi is that that they have, that there's this thought in crypto that first mover wins, right? I mean that sort of seems to be sort of like one of the things, first mover wins. But I think what Charles Hoskinson is proving is that that's just not the case. Quality wins. And one of the issues I've got with Occamfi is that they well, not an issue, it's a question really. Have they maybe tried to go a bit early? Because there's some things that still need smoothing out. Specifically, smart contracts haven't launched yet, and I keep reading things on Occamfi where they're saying this is going on, and then a week later they're going, hold fire. Actually, we just need to sort this out, and
Yeah, I think it's a matter of expectations, because they were updating too much. Sunday Swap did the right thing. They went quiet for a while, and when it really was good news.
Yes, they did. Yeah, and you can almost sort of like, you can almost tell the ones that have got almost the Cardano mentality, because they do that thing where they do go quiet for a little while.
Yeah. So John asks, is Binance going to suffer? Well, even if Binance is guilty, and we don't know, but it will take time to get them. Like for BitMEX, it took like 1 year. So if you look at this time, when did the Binance problem comes in May? So even if it's in May, they will, the long hand of the authorities will only probably be there in what? May next year, sometime next year. It takes time.
Do you know what? I find the Binance story really frustrating, because
what's happening? Okay, I don't know. What's up?
Do you know, man, I'm just kind of concerned about using them. I'm almost worried to kind of put any money in there, and it's really difficult, because
you think where there's smoke, there's fire, mate.
Not so much that, but it's just, somebody's asking me on the weekend actually, what would I recommend getting into? And I was talking about the crypto space, and they said, what do you use? And I said, well, I use Binance. And they said, oh, is it safe? And I was like, no, it's not. Because how can I say with any it's not so much that the smoke without fire, but I just can't say with any confidence right now, because they're being chased down. They're the ones in the crosshair, and I'm concerned that the day that I put the money in, that'll be the day they kind of get shut down or something. I doubt they will. I doubt anything major will happen, but there's that small kind of niggling thing at the back of my mind, knowing that there's probably a better exchange to use, and I don't really want to kind of I don't really want to parlance with Binance right now.
Let's get to the case of BitMEX. Even when that thing happened on BitMEX, you could still withdraw from BitMEX. And BitMEX,
yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, isn't it? Is that it is probably a storm in a teacup, in as much that you will be able to get your money in and money out. but you don't want to hear the exchange that you use mentioned in these terms.
It kind of sucks. But if you're like me and you have a lot of exchange coins, I'm used to it already. Okay, we got hacked again, blah, 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 blah. Then the tokens here again, even in the worst case, like KuCoin, right? I couldn't access the tokens that were hacked for about 1 month, and that's okay. Because after that 1 month, the tokens went up.
Do you know, mate? I think that's the thing, and this is where experience really counts for a lot. Because the fact that you've been through this before, you know the pitfalls, you know how this thing goes, you know the rhetoric, you know what it ends up doing, and it gives you some comfort to go, fine. You know what? Just leave it do its thing. It'll do its thing.
As long as you're a big one and that has insurance, that's okay. Because my amp got hacked on KuCoin, and I got it back after 1 month. It was there. It didn't go anywhere. But for that 1 month, it was there on the screen, but you cannot do anything. Like, hey, that still wouldn't go through.
I suppose it's inevitable, though, isn't it? You know, as we enter, and I guess it is that kind of Wild West thing. You know, as they were building the towns in America when they were sort of, had this big gold rush. There were marshals and there were sheriffs, and you could go into certain towns and they'd be relatively safe, but there'll be some towns that you've mentioned, people say don't go there because they've got a lot of outlaws there, and you kind of go, well, I should be okay because they still have a marshal and a sheriff. But
Dodge City, mate. That's where Dogecoin come from. Dodge City.
Oh, is that what it is? Is it?
No.
Oh. But I'd imagine it's a good name. Dodging the bullets if you kind of go to a place like that. But there is that thing, isn't it? And it's similar to crypto in as much that it's so young. There's inevitably going to be bullets flying. And until we kind of get a real handle on it, and this is why I'd like the SEC to just do their thing and tell us what the regulation is.
Tomorrow night, I have this session, AMA, with the Hobby chief in Singapore. And my question for him is, what are you doing that you're not getting into trouble like Binance? What is Binance doing that's causing them to get into trouble and you don't get into trouble? Because it's the same thing. Chinese and Chinese, Binance is Hong Kong, but Hobby seems to be dodging things,
Oh, brilliant, mate. So you got an interview tomorrow with the CEO?
Yeah, Hobby, in one of the AMAs that came onto my feed here. So, I mean, that's cool. That's what I want to know. Cool. Yeah, they're both Chinese. So, I know Binance.
Very cool.
What do you expect him to say, Shukri?
I expect him to say that he doesn't give people like Ash leverage. Like Binance, which has set up Binance UK or something funny, so that Ash will get. Ash doesn't know it, and he will think he can do leverage. That's not good. That's like confusing people. Whereas Hobby is pretty clear. You can't do it. You can't do it. That's it.
You can't use the leverage. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big advocate of leverage, but I understand it does have its function. But Binance aren't doing anything that trading companies haven't been doing for years. I mean, the people that we use as brokers, all of them allow their clients to use leverage. So what's the big deal? I know cryptos are a lot more volatile. So maybe that's the issue. It's the kind of mix of the two. Leverage and volatility are just an absolute killer. But there are still products on these things that are volatile, even before the crypto space came along. So I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Right. You look at Elron. Elron is coming out to the platform to trade gold, silver, and platinum. Hey, I want my leverage too. Like I have my leverage on MT4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to trade that if you are giving me 1 for 1. Hello.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at I'll tell you what, a really good example, soybean, pretty volatile at times. Natural gas, very volatile at times. Tesla, if you were trading Tesla, really volatile. So I'm not sure what the argument is. And maybe we're missing the point. Maybe we're simplifying it too much. Maybe it's more to do with something else. I don't know. But if it's just a case of they're offering leverage on cryptocurrencies, it's like, are you kidding me? People have been doing that for years. Why are you going after those guys?
I think because what's happening is the young people are getting burned. But young people, this is the same thing in 2017, Ash, same story again. And Ash and Jeff will tell you the same story since whenever. It has always been the same story.
But it is. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is. I mean, look at the banking crisis. Really, was caused by leverage. The housing crisis and the housing bubble caused by leverage. The .com bubble caused by leverage. So, so it's been happening, and it goes around and around and around. But I suppose that the question is, have they chosen the correct tools to curb people losing their money, or should they maybe gone into something else? You know, maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. It's difficult to know really what conversations they've been having with Binance, but
DeFi, rug pull here, rug pull there. Yeah, every day you have a rug pull on DeFi, and some of it are on more famous companies. But guys, what do I do with the money? I cannot put it in the bank, and this is why these DeFi things are moving. Rug pull or not, I do not. I don't know where to put my money.
Yeah.
But then if you then do throw leverage into the equation, it really sets a bonfire underneath these potential issues with these, in particular, these young people. But, you know, there's a lot of, let's say, more mature people who probably have never, ever invested directly into financial markets, certainly through managed funds, et cetera. But I would suspect that, you know, a whole new paradigm of investors has come into the market since COVID. And I think it is very dangerous with leverage. And I know that in the currency markets in Australia, the brokers are now limited, I think it's to 30 to 1.
Really?
So, yeah. I don't think you can leverage anybody more than 30 to 1 now in Australia.
I mean,
which
that makes
is a good
lot
thing.
Of sense. And I would have thought that would have been a, or maybe that's where they get to eventually. But I would have thought that'd be a much more sensible reaction, not to go, right, we're going to slap everything on you, but rather that one, they go, let's control your leverage. Let's control how much you're allowed to offer, because people are getting cut up with what we're offering right now. LT, could it be when you put leverage in crypto, the money is shifted away from the banks? I don't think that's the case. Do you know what? Interesting what you're saying about the banks, LT, because there are certain cryptocurrencies that are trying to engage with the banks.
Yeah.
And where we're sort of like going with this, where we think the banking system is dead. As we know it, it may well be, but there may still be a lifeline for banks. Well, there you go. Look what Shukri's circling there. Tell us about these, Shukri, because Arve I really like. But tell us about these, mate, and what they're doing to kind of incorporate the banks into the new world order.
Introduce institutional DeFi, so you don't have to come to my wallet class anymore if you have like 10 million and above. And they are actually working with the banks and institutions. Yeah, they're talking about figures of 10 million. Again, because where are fund managers going to put in their money? That's the point. And you know what? You know what they're giving, Ash? They're giving 4%. That is a giant 4% for 10 million. Okay? That's a lot.
Yes. And this is where the banking sector has to engage with this stuff, because they can't offer 4%. They're offering 0.01% in some countries. But if they can engage with the crypto market, all of a sudden they can go to their customers and clients. We can give you 4%. Now, what does that do? That keeps actually quite a lot of people away from crypto, because it means that, you know, they don't have to worry so much. But they can still participate through the banking system. So I'm not sure whether the banking sector will die in the way that maybe Satoshi maybe thought initially. I don't know if that was his plan, but I think there might just be a shifting of use case.
Correct. And someone is, you know, one of the partners in Compound's universe is, guess what? It is Akala and Karura.
All right.
Won the parachain recently, right? So that's interesting. This is from the Polkadot ecosystem. This is Ethereum ecosystem. So even Polkadot is going to institutional DeFi. So don't be surprised one day that Jeff goes into his bank and a 3%, and it's actually being run by Akala and Polkadot in the background. I won't be surprised.
Amazing.
But
Yeah.
Carla, was that number 4?
which one? No, this one is Karura is number 1. Moon River is number 2. I don't know number 3. Have they decided number 3 yet? Probably Shiden, and then a couple of more are coming up. But if Jeff gets 3% from Karura, if he goes direct, I'm sure he can get 10 because that's how it works.
Say again.
No, if you can get from your bank, say they're running a Karura DeFi at the background, right? If you do it, you can get 10, right? Because they have so many people to pay.
Okay, I'll see if I can cogitate that round in my little brain for the next 7 weeks and come up with an answer.
4% is huge.
Yes, it is huge, especially in today's.
At the moment, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
This is on USDT, okay? USD, sorry, not on USDT, USDC. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you saw that. Ash's good friend Alex Machinsky gives 8.88, and this is normal, right? But hey, institutions will flock to Compound and USDC Circle, and they're also owned by Coinbase. So done.
Yeah, and people will want to use them because they trust the banks. You know, they'll trust the banks more than, you know, the bank says, look, you can go and get 8.8% from a crypto exchange. People, you know, there'll be people of a certain generation that just go, just give me 4%. I'll be more than happy with that. Give me 4% in your institute because it's safe, and I know it and I trust it, and I have to go through a load of burning hoops to try and open up an account. So yeah,
they're trustworthy outlaws.
Yeah, exactly. Even though you might be offered double somewhere else, that double might come at a cost of risk that people perceived risk anyway that people don't want to take. I mean, I can almost guarantee that everybody I spoke to on the weekend about doing this stuff won't invest because it is just, you know, when they're asking me, can I go and buy it through the bank? And I was like, no, it's actually a bit more complicated than that. And when I think back to it, unless you really have some, and it's not difficult. I heard you say the other day, Shukri, it's really simple stuff. And I think Paul corrected you in a way of saying, yes, it's simple, but only actually if you've got someone holding your hand. Yes. And you do need that. You do need someone it might not be, it's not a difficult process, but it is just so much blurb, and it is so much, there's so much, what's the word, jargon, that you need somebody to kind of go, oh, that's it's almost like someone breaking down a law contract. All that means is that, you know, I remember when we signed a record deal many years ago, the solicitor literally just went through the legal jargon, put it into our language, and so we could understand it. And that's really what you help people do, isn't it? You just bring it down to their language so they can sort of like go through this process. But you know, after speaking to these people on the weekend, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting there, you know, to kind of like having to tell people that have never done this stuff before what the language is, because it would take all day for people that have never done it.
The good thing about this is this, okay, like institutional DeFi, you have the GBTC from Grayscale, but that brought people in. But, you know, people were buying Bitcoin at 40% more expensive, right? The premium. Same thing here. You're getting 4% here. Now let them be comfortable with 4%. One day they want the 8, 15, and 20 where you have to do it yourself. But we have to give them this first.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. LT's asking, so the banks borrowed the money, but the money goes to crypto.
Now it can, yes. Now it can. Soon. This month they're launching.
Interesting. Thank you, mate. Unless there's anything else you need to tell us about?
I have to go for my vaccination so I can travel again. Oh.
Go for your vaccination. Go and enjoy that. You having a cocktail? You sticking with one company? What are you doing with it?
What?
A cocktail. Well, they got the big thing here now is that you can have a cocktail of vaccinations. You can go AstraZeneca first one, Glaxo second one, things like that.
AstraZeneca.
You go for AstraZeneca. Okay, mate. All right.
There is a hashtag here, Chucho my AZ or my ass. It basically says poke my ass. No. Guys, bye.
AstraZeneca, the biggest company in the FTSE 100, and
Yeah.
quite an astonishing climb to prominence with those guys over the last decade. It really has been something quite special with AstraZeneca. Started well. Let's think 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they were half of not even they were a third as big as they are now 10 years ago. Only 10 years ago, and now they're the biggest company in the FTSE 100. So that tells us where we are. Okay, mate. Well, let's wrap that up with you then. Thank you so much, as
Thanks,
always.
buddy.
Fascinating stuff. Jeff,
Go and bend over and get jabbed, man.
in New York. Fad, how you doing, buddy? Sorry, didn't see you there. Jeff, there is a question from Lewis. Have you looked at the euro yen and the euro and the pound yen, both as a short?
Okay, let me take a look.
Yeah, Lewis, I think that the travel is still going to be muted. I think we're probably looking at 2022. Most likely. Looks pretty good to me, that one, mate. Yep, go on, let's have a look then.
Okay, so this is euro yen, and this is the 4-hour chart. I think it's far better than pound yen. I'll give you the reason why in a minute. I like it's an upside down version of what we were looking at on Swissy yen, right? If you'll recall, was it Swissy yen? Yeah, there were a couple of them. I can't remember which ones they were now. Maybe Euro Swissy, maybe a few other things. But anyway, it's a 3-candle pattern that I do like to trade, and it's an upside down version. And wow, we've come off the weekly pivot with a rush, haven't we? Up, down. Interesting. Do I see a short at the moment? I see the candle pattern. I see the bounce off the daily pivot. I don't think I'd like to jump in now because that candle is how big? 47 pips. Don't know what the current ATR is, but you've definitely got room before you hit an ATR issue, but you've got an issue with that, trading into that, and you've probably got an issue even with trading into that. That one's not too bad. I like the directional bias, obviously, and I'm still in euro yen short, as you know. Do I see an ad right now? I don't know that I do. I think I'd like to see this taken out, Lewis. Take out these lows, then come back and hit the bottom of that trend line. And I think then you've got a decent trade. You do have room in ATR terms, I believe, to get some profit. So I'm on board, but I don't know that I'm on board getting into the market right now on euro yen. Pound yen. The reason I think euro yen's better than pound yen is because of where the pivots are. If you noticed on euro yen, you're underneath all the pivots. On pound yen, you're on top of all the pivots, which makes it really difficult. If you have a look at the what do they call these things? Candles. Every day is different. So you've got a high test bar, a low test bar, a high test bar, but everything's centered around that monthly pivot area. Nothing has changed. Daily pivots there, weekly pivots there. So I really don't know that this is the time that this is going to break out. And you can see with the triangle that everything's range. Everything is range. But the pivots being below here, you've got a support trade line as well. I'd find it very, very difficult to enter at this point. So I think exactly the same would apply to me. I'd need to see a break here and a retest of the pivots at least, and then maybe you've got an entry from up here somewhere, get some profit in the bank before that low. So that would make sense to me. Is it a candidate for an ABC long? Definitely not, because we're almost at DR3. I can't see that happening anytime soon. So get your point. But I think it's dangerous to enter short pound yen right now, and euro yen. I think if it does break those lows and come back and give us a retest, then I think you've got to trade. If you're in, happy days. I think you'll do okay. But I I'd definitely like to see both these levels cleared before I added to my position.
I like the euro again, sure. I have to say, as a fundamentally, I think it's a decent currency pair to be looking for. And as I say, I'm a big fan of the yen at this moment, which I don't often say. Fans
Hey,
still
Fed.
holding the CAD sell since January. Slingshot at its best, he said.
Yeah, look, I'm still in that. Obviously, I haven't had a look at it for a while, have I?
Is this the one we're holding till Christmas?
Well, if we can stay in there, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not looking too dusty. It's just doing what it does, and I do like the price action. Price action now looks good. Got to get this low. Got to clear this low. As soon as we've cleared that low, I think we'll see some more downside, and hopefully at Christmas time we're down here at what 125 or something.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool. We shall see. Long way to go, mate. But yeah, nice that you're still in and you're getting paid every day, right, to be in that trade.
No problem, Lewis. We will see you very soon, mate. Getting paid every day because you're getting the swaps, which is fantastic. John, that would be brilliant, mate, about the small problem brewing over vaccines under license, and you'll find out the article for tomorrow. That'd be brilliant, mate. Let's have a look at that, just so we're all aware of what's happening there. FTSE 100 is pretty flat, mate. Roundabout entry currently. And difficult to pick a direction, to be fair, but I'm sticking in there, mate. I'm going to see if I can get my targets, and I'm hoping that either everybody is either out of the trade at only half the loss because you would have got taken out if you picked the high, or you're unleveraged and you're just hanging on in there. So we can see how this one develops for tomorrow. But I like it. Now, one message for Angel, which you're not going to like me for, but I've got a new idea for our background. Now, Jeff, you've got to get this background sorted, mate, because I've got an idea for our background. I think you're going to like it.
I nearly ordered a new computer today. I might do it tomorrow.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, fantastic.
I don't know why you would need to replace a 2-year-old computer, but why not?
Why not, mate? Yeah. Put it in the rubbish. Chuck it in the canal. John, John's got the new one. Okay, well, I've got an idea now. Angel, am I allowed to give you a new idea, or are we kind of done with that now? I don't want to kind of push you into something you don't want to do, which is why I'm asking you in front of everybody. So we will be back tomorrow. John, loving the backgrounds. Back tomorrow, same trade time. Same trade channel. Thanks to you guys, as always. It was a really good show. Enjoyed it today. And thank you to Angel for looking after us. Thanks to you, Jeff. I thought you did a stellar job today, mate, picking out some lovely looking trades. And that gold trade is obviously looking healthy. John, I hope you're still in.
Oh, are we at TP yet? Or
Not at TP yet. 1805 is providing some resistance. So we need to be just aware that might get stuck there for a while, but I think we stick with our take profit area. Oh, there's a weekly pivot, monthly pivot. Is that monthly pivot there?
That's monthly pivot. Yeah, it's the same level. It's 113. Sorry, 1813.
1813. Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're
close to it.
Yeah. All right. Monthly pivot is our target. Amazing. Thank you.
You got it. Right. Now that we've got rid of what is complete different language to me on Tuesdays for the Shukri half hour, but I really enjoy it, and I just don't know. I simply don't know where I'm going to go with this crypto stuff. It's just too much for me. And when you were talking about it before and saying. And I heard that interview when Paul was saying to Shukri, look, yes, it may be simple, but if you're, I don't know, 35 plus or something, it's like a maze. It really is a maze. How the hell do you get from there to there? Yeah. And like you say, thank God Shukri's around. Otherwise, we'd all be in the dark.
Yeah, we'd all be in the dark, mate. It's we don't know who the guy who invented Bitcoin. We don't know who Satoshi is, do we?
I haven't run across him, mate. No.
No, I've got my suspicions that. All my suspicions I might know who he is.
I don't know. I think he would have said by now.
Yeah, I don't know. He's very good. You know, he's managed to kind of stay under the radar quite cleverly. I've got a feeling I know who he might be. I think I know who he is.
Yes, yeah, spot on, Paul P. Cryptic crypto. I agree, 100%.
Right. So yeah. Anyway, thank you to everybody. Thanks to Satoshi, Jeff, and thanks to Angel and to you guys. We'll be back same trade time, same trade channel tomorrow.
All right, guys, have a good one. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye bye for now.